Hi YouTube, how's everybody doing today? Wanted to show you my new rocket stove type that I've been seeing on YouTube. A lot of people rave about it. But I'm also going to be heating a tent this year for deer season. So I wanted to try, before I got out there, I wanted to try it and see how much heat I could actually produce through a metal tube. So what I have here, as you can see, kind of funky looking, but it is slightly movable. That way I can aim it either direction. Yes, that is copper. This is not going to be inside the fire. This portion right here will be inside the fire, right there. This over here will be pointed into my tent, so I'm leaving it slightly loose, not very loose, just slightly. That way I can angle it whichever I need to put it into the tent, and I will have an extension right here. That way I can actually put it in there, into the tent. Now, here we have a valve that's come off my cattle tank pool over there. That's the only reason the valve's on there. I might close it. That way it can heat this portion down here. And then, once the heat is good, then I will turn the valve back on and see if it'll suck air through and start blowing air through. So, let's walk through the rocket stove real quick. It is raining, and that's another thing. It's going to be deer season soon, so I might have to deal with some rain. I got 2 of these blocks here that I've cut. So that way I'll show you how that one is actually cut. Now, I cut them at work with a concrete saw. You cut this section here out, this front section, which is this section here. You cut it out smooth on both sides so that way you can enter into it. So, you look down in there. You got a solid section on top. You can make this as tall as you need to. You can put a pan on here. You can put a kettle on here. I'm going to be using a kettle. Now you could also flip this block here downward and have a bigger opening, but I'm not going to do that yet. This is a standard block. It is sitting on 2 standard blocks. So we'll just put that over against it. Alright, now you can see it's blocked there and it's open straight into there. Then it comes in and you've got the hole. You can see through there. That's how it gets its airflow. Air goes in here, comes across, hits the coals and fire, and comes up. Now, I know you're probably wondering, how's he going to get that in there? Give me a second, I'm going to put it in and I'll show you. Okay, now I've got the pipe in there. As you can see, I've got it facing me into the garage. That way I can test it while I'm outside of the rain. Went ahead and added another junk block right there. And I could have taken this one and put it over here, but I didn't want it to be confusing. Alright. Now it is going through there. Comes out the top here. It's leaning a little bit, which is fine, but then I can also adjust it before it gets too hot. So, now before I show this next portion of how I'm actually going to light the fire, I do want to say that I am not sponsored by any company whatsoever. I am doing this purely for my own benefit, and so everybody else can see it. Maybe you can come up with a slightly better idea. I don't know. We'll see. But I am going to use these Pine Mountain Snap and Start. There we go. Yeah, the Snap and Start fire starters for quick lights. You got 4 fires in here. I'm probably going to use just one little piece of it. So let me open it up and I'll show you what they look like. Okay, now I've got one out. I did this one-handed. Starts really easy. Now I'm going to take and light this thing. Drop it down inside there. Now mind you, it is raining. So this might take me a minute. But I'm going to start this thing and then get some leaves. Not really leaves, but small limbs. And really get it going. Then I'll show you all how it's working. Okay, everybody. Got the fire starter. I want to show you how easy these things are to light. Now I prefer to light this little side here. It's got the rougher edges. Just come to the bottom of it. Lights up pretty easy. Now I will hold it there because it is raining and allow it to start on its own. It does take a second. So I mean, if you're in a hurry and in a wet environment, you're going to have to block it a little bit. But I can, as you can see, I can sit here and hold it. No problem. Now, over here, behind me, so I'll even move this around in the camera a little bit so you can see it. Got me a little box of wood, or a bucket of wood. That's stuff that I've just got laying around the shop. I don't know if y'all can see that in there or not. Yeah. Get that out of the way. It's all dry stuff. It's, you know, stuff just scrap wood. You know, nothing major. So now I'm going to flip this and let it fully engulf that end a little bit. That way there's no chance of it going out whenever I put it in there. And I do use these in my fireplace. I do have a wood stove inside. If you follow me on Facebook or you've seen it. Otherwise, you can find me, same name, just on Facebook. Okay, I'm going to pause it and get this fire started. Okay, everybody, we're back. I have put that piece way down in here, and I know you're supposed to put everything in through the front on a rocket stove, but right now I'm just trying to make it because it's raining. I wanted to have enough in the chimney here that it lit this, you know, it covered it, kept it from getting wet down in there, but it also heats this pipe just fine. Now you can barely see the little trickle of light down in there, but you can see from here the air is going in, it's blowing, it's starting to suck real good. I've got a couple pieces there. Now granted, this is my first time doing this, so this is not like I've done this a time or two. If not, and I can still reach in here, pull that out and show you. You know, I've got it loaded up with a bunch of pieces down in here. It's going to get real good and warm. You know, and I'm not 100% sure on how that's supposed to work, but this is the rocket stove I have so far. We're just going to get this thing going, and once I get a good flame coming up out of there, I'll show you again. So stay with me. While I got y'all here, we're waiting on the fire to get started. I want to say a few things about deer hunting. I know it's not for everybody. There's a lot of people out there that don't eat the deer meat, but there's a lot of people that do. There's a lot of people that rely on their deer hunting for meat. And then there's a lot of people that just like to go out and get that big buck. I am a meat eater. I eat the meat that we get. I eat squirrels. My family's not a big squirrel fans, but I am. I love rabbit. I love deer. You know, and if that offends you, I am very sorry that you feel that way, because deer is delicious. So are them other animals. On this video, I'd also like to say, you know, put down in the comments what you use for deer hunting if you do go deer hunting. I love seeing other people's deer. Love seeing them. I am going to try and put Duke on the, for those of you who don't remember, that's Duke. That is my 98 Suzuki mini truck. You can see the light bar on the front, and peeking around a corner there, you can barely see the top of it, but that is the one of the backlights. I use those for fishing, hunting, all that kind of stuff. It goes everywhere. It does have a low-speed dump truck transmission. I've got my extra tires sitting there, both sets, which those are the tires that came on it. And once again, I am not supported by anybody, but I just want to show you, those are the black diamonds that I got on there that came with the truck. And then I also made sure that when I bought the truck that I got the pizza cutters, is what they're normally called. But those are the smaller standard tires that are on them. Now I've got, those are 23s. Those are not. Those are a lot smaller. I don't know what those are, I can't remember. But the ones I have on there are 25-inch tall tires. I know a lot of people say you cannot put 25-inch tall tires on there. They're going to rub, and they do at first. I did have to knock in, here's my big finger. Knock in that little spot right there in front of the tire. So that way whenever I turn, it doesn't rub as bad. It does rub still a little bit. But that's, it's going to happen. Okay, we got a good fire going in here already. It's, as you can see, it's coming up the pipe. Now we're going to step back and let it do its thing. Now as you can see right here, now this is the first time I've used these that center pipe. These other pipes are full of rust. So it's a good thing I'm doing this. I can see that it is getting some heat in there, and it is burning off anything that's on the inside of that pipe. So I mean, it is working. You can see that it is working. May have to tighten up everything and make it to where there is no leaks in there, because there might be smoke coming through there, but you can see that it is working real well already. Yeah, I'd say that's just the stuff I've got left in the pipes. Because this pipe down here was on my pool, so I mean, it's probably got dirt and leaves and all kinds of stuff that in it from whenever, because that smells like wood inside of it, from whenever I was using it as a drain pipe. Because this portion down here that portion down there was used for connection to the cattle tank. That was to keep it from draining, and then this portion here that goes all the way back into here was for actually getting rid of the water itself. And it probably has some sticks and leaves and stuff like that inside there, so it's burning. And we got a good chimney going there. It is getting real good and warm, and I could probably still stick my kettle next to it. So you know what, actually I'm gonna grab my kettle. So I have my kettle here. I'm gonna show you all while this is still going. Kettle still fits on there right next to the pipe. A couple different ways. It still has a vent. You can see this thing is smoking. But that smoke there is about the same. You can see that that's got a good heat coming out of there. You can actually hear it if I'd stop talking long enough. I don't know if y'all can hear it or not. I'm pretty sure that's why they call it a rocket stove, is because of the sound that it makes. But look at that. That's producing a lot more smoke than what I was expecting. So maybe I have to use brand new pipes. Maybe I need to fire this a couple times or get it good and hot and get that smoke out of there. Because I've seen it done with wood stove pieces. Or with the Swedish log, which is just a log split open and then hollowed. And then you stick the pipe through. Looks like it's working to me. So I'm going to give you all a break for a second. I'm going to check to see, or I'm going to wait and see if that smoke dissipates. But it looks like it's dissipating, coming out of there. It's not pushing out quite as heavy as what it was, but still a great airflow. Maybe it'll quit smoking on me. Let's see. I also want to say that for those of you who probably haven't noticed yet, this long section is a 3/4 inch pipe. The elbow's 3/4. I've got a 3/4 straight. Then I've got a 3/4 to 1 inch adapter here, and it's the same setup at the bottom end. So that's a 1 inch pipe right through there. So that's probably why we've got quite a bit of air coming through. And look at that. It's not smoking quite as much. It's actually dying it out a little bit. That is smoking quite a bit, which is great. But look at that. The ground around it is perfectly safe. You can have this in a conservation area where they're not going to allow too many fires. But they can, a contained fire does work. This would work great. And I do hunt conservation areas. Yeah, look at that flame coming out of there. Now, granted, you normally wouldn't have that much wood in there. And I may even bring along 2 more bricks just to stand that up a little better and really get it protected from the flames. And granted, you're not going to load that much in there. You're supposed to load it from the front, not the top. Like I showed y'all, I have a bunch of wood down in there, but it is going really well. That's something I'm real proud of. I'm doing real good with this. It is, going to be a hassle carrying that many cinder blocks, but like I showed you, I'm taking Duke, and Duke can handle it. Oh yeah, look at that flame. And luckily the heat's going out and away from my garage, because I am standing in my garage. That thing's just a couple feet from the garage. So I'm not going to put any more wood in there. I'm just going to let it go. Let it do its thing. Do want to come back over here and show you, look. The smoke has almost completely stopped. So yeah, I guess I just needed to fire it one time. This is still cold. Whoop! See that? It moved the blocks. Now let's get this moved over. I can adjust it a little bit. Not much. There's a little bit of adjustment there. Yeah, that moved the blocks where you can actually see in between them. So I mean, if that happens, I'll be using a rubber mallet, so you can just kick that a little bit. Yep, maybe do a little quick tap on the front. Boom. Yeah, I'll be able to cook on that, be able to use that for all kinds of stuff. But you can see down in there, wood's already starting to get eaten up real good, real quick. Smoke has started to slow way down. And there's not much smoke coming out of there, so I definitely needed to fire this one time before I took it out there. I'm glad I did. Really glad I did. So leave down in the comments. Make sure you like and subscribe my page. We do show all kinds of stuff. I've got kids on there, my kids on there, doing different weird stuff. I'm going to have my eldest boy on there doing some stuff. I'm trying to get some of my daughter's artwork on there. And we're going to try and do all kinds of stuff this year. Now, the 2019 is almost over, so 2020, hopefully everybody has a better year. If you're watching this in 2020, thanks for watching. I really appreciate all the views. Yeah, see, that thing's already dying back down a little bit. I'm not sure how much wood this thing's actually going to have to use. But we'll find out. So, have a great one.